Hey, fourth grade, it's Miss T here. I am outside in my backyard sitting among some trees, and I wanted to read to you guys a little bit from my New Hampshire book about the land. So in our last video, we finished talking about the beautiful mountains and valleys that we have in New Hampshire. And in this video, we're going to read about the rivers and lakes, and the plants and animals, and our climate, which all of us are very familiar with. I'm wearing a shawl here because it's kind of chilly outside. Gotta love that New Hampshire climate. Rivers and lakes. New Hampshire has some 40,000 miles of waterways. The most important of its 40 major rivers are the Connecticut, Merrimack, Saco, Androscoggin, and Piscataqua. The Connecticut River forms the state's western boundary from Quebec to Massachusetts and continues south to flow into Long Island Sound. The Merrimack rises south of the White Mountains and flows through the center of the state into Massachusetts, where it turns east to flow into the Atlantic Ocean. Its swift current has shaped New Hampshire's economy by furnishing water power for many factories. The Saco and Androscoggin rivers flow from northeastern New Hampshire into Maine, then empty into the Atlantic. The Piscataqua runs along the southern part of the Maine border and forms a large bay at Portsmouth. Many of the state's 2,000 lakes and ponds are surrounded by summer homes and resorts. New Hampshire's largest body of water is Lake Winnipesaukee, located a few miles south of the White Mountains in the east central part of the state. Covering 72 square miles, the lake is surrounded by 3 mountain ranges, Ossipee, Sandwich, and Belknap, and contains 274 islands. Other major lakes include Umbagog, Squam, Newfound, Winnisquam, Ossipee, and Sunapee. And here's a picture of Squam Lake, which lies in central New Hampshire. Some of you maybe have gone to the Squam Lake Science Center. Plants and animals. New Hampshire is one of the nation's most densely wooded states. About 5/6 of the state is forest covered. About 2/3 of the state's forests are made up of such evergreens as pines, spruces, firs, cedars, and tamaracks. Mixed hardwoods, including maples, beeches, birches, oaks, ashes, and hickories, account for about 1/3 of the state's forest cover. The hills are covered with brightly colored foliage in autumn. In the spring, apple and cherry trees, as well as dogwood, azalea, honeysuckle, and rhododendron shrubs, produce a dazzling display of blooms. Native mammals include opossums, moles, shrews, bats, porcupines, raccoons, muskrats, weasels, minks, skunks, chipmunks, foxes, squirrels, and rabbits. The Lake Umbagog area, which straddles the Maine border in northern New Hampshire, is home to an outstanding array of wildlife, including white-tailed deer, black bears, and even moose and elk, as well as such rare creatures as martens and Canada lynxes. Waterbirds nest here, and migratory birds stop over in great numbers. Along the seacoast and off the Isles of Shoals, Atlantic harbor seals, dolphins, and an occasional whale can be spotted. Birds commonly seen in the state include robins, chickadees, chickadee-dee-dee, woodpeckers, blue jays, purple finches, whippoorwills, and sparrows, as well as ruffed grouse, pheasants, and ducks. Bass, landlocked salmon, pickerel, perch, whitefish, and several varieties of trout swim in New Hampshire's lakes and streams. And here we have some pictures of our wildlife, including the marten, which is up in the top, the seal in the bottom left, and the porcupine to the right. So there's the marten, there's the seal, and there's the porcupine. All right, and climate. Ooh, and I'm starting to experience some of that now. New Hampshire's weather, like that of the other states in the far northeast, is often harsh and challenging. Winters are long and cold, summers short, with warm days and cool evenings. Growing seasons range from fewer than 105 days in the far north to 120 to 140 days in the south and near the Connecticut River. In the far north, the temperature on an average day in January or February is about 16 degrees Fahrenheit. In the summer, temperatures in the north average about 66 degrees Fahrenheit. In the southern part of the state, average temperatures are several degrees higher in both summer and winter. The lowest temperature ever recorded in the state was minus 46 degrees Fahrenheit New Hampshire's highest recorded temperature was 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Quite a range there. Annual rainfall in the state averages from 30 to 50 inches. Yearly snowfall averages about 50 inches along the coast and as much as 150 inches in the mountains. Records of temperature and wind velocity are kept in an observatory on the top of Mount Washington. The highest wind velocity ever recorded on Earth, students, 231 miles per hour, was measured there on April 12, 1934. What a great state we live in. And here we have a picture of a beautiful barn with pretty white snow. A picturesque New Hampshire scene. All right, 4th grade, thank you for reading with me from my New Hampshire book. And I can't wait to talk to you guys more about New Hampshire in our next video. Bye, 4th grade!